Hi, my name is Jesse Kindig. This is my Module 5, Understanding My Community. My school district's Delta, Colorado, USD 50J. No customs and traditions, common ideas and attitudes, communication with parents, and many other things. We communicate with parents on a regular basis. We encourage phone calls. We encourage both positive and negative. We send home Tuesday Expresses, lots of that stuff. Habits of people. This is a big blue collar community, big community based off of farming and ranching and mining. So a lot of people having a job is everything, and right now we're struggling with that. Our We're having a major increase in jobless students and parents. Lifestyle shape and social action. Girls on the Run program, which is great, gets girls out, meeting each other, moving around. We have a mentoring program after school that I run, both with math and reading. And then we have a lot of little league athletics just here in the school. And then if you were to go to the high school and the middle school, and then further on, we have a technical college. Lots of after school thing shaping lifestyles and including social interaction. Social class structure. We have a very large rising ELL population. We have an ELL program growing with that. We have free breakfast for all students, and we have free and reduced lunch program. So we this is our first year where every student gets free breakfast. We've got a grant and we fit that criteria. No knowledge affects policy and curriculum. So every building has PLCs where we go over data and stuff like that, things that were goals and progress for reading and math and all these different things. MTSS group, multi-tiered structural system. So we're trying kids that we have concerns about, both behavior and academic. We go through the MTSS process. We have Catch Kids, which is an after-school program that gets them fed and gives them time to do homework. It's kind of an after-school daycare, if you will, and after school reading and math programs like we talked about earlier. We've had lots of change with our new administration this year, and with change comes a lot of uncertainty. We're trying to move to a standards-based report card. We're trying out a brand new math curriculum. So with all change comes some uncertainty and hesitancy, but all in all, we're seeing big growth. So I think slowly but surely we're all getting on board. Knowing our population and characteristics of Delta County. So looking up this data, the high school graduate in the area is about 88%, which is pretty good. And then 20% of those 88% have at least a bachelor's degree. Occupations, median household income is about 42,452, and then at least 15.8% live in a poverty rate. I couldn't find an up-to-date scale on how many are employed and how many are unemployed, but I know that our unemployment rate is skyrocketing right now. We're finding more and more people on food stamps and getting government and federal help. Race, creed, nationality. This is very surprising to me because I thought our Latino community was much larger, but as of 2015, 94% are Caucasian, 5% Latino, 1% other. And then language other than English spoken at home, about 10% of those homes. So that's pretty cool. If you want to look up more data, this is a great Data USA. This is where I found my data, and pretty good website, breaks things down very clearly for you. No communication channels. Gosh, we use everything here from very big into email. We actually have every district and every building has a Facebook page. Newspaper is in the building all the time, sharing schedules and programs, things like that. Excuse me. We have phone calls home to parents. Certain parents I'll text. They can get me easily if there's an emergency. We send home a Tuesday Express with newsletters, stuff like that, every Tuesday from here. And then we have a Power School, which that sends out alerts, like if school's canceled or if there's an Amber Alert or something like that, or grades, things like that. That's where parents go to Power School, so they're not calling every day like, "Hey, send home a report card." Radio, TV, daily newspaper, public uses most. TV and newspapers. We're still a little old school out here. The newspaper's really good, and they do a really nice job. Foreign language impact. In this building alone, we have 3 translators. We send home Tuesday Express translated to kids who need it. So we have the opportunity. Not everyone in this building obviously speaks Spanish, but we have 3 wonderful translators who are they hear every day and are willing to help and are at parent-teacher conferences. Where do people in the community get most of their news and information? Our local news channel, KKCO 11 News, is on TV, and then WesternSlopeNow.com is a fairly new website that came out, and that has anything from sports and weather, news, anything like that. That's a big one. Community groups. We have American community, boys and groups organized around special interests. Big one here, Boy and Girl Scouts. Very big one. Lots and lots of kids are into this. And then one thing I didn't add was 4-H, big 4-H community, big ranching, farming community. Varying influence, school board, PTO, those guys do a really nice job of adding different influences to our school, which bring up different ideas. Informal and formal groups. We have the VFW, Lions Club, Rec League. So we go anywhere from Little League all the way up to retired veterans. So these are groups that everyone can kind of get involved in. We have groups about all ages that everyone can get to do something, keeping kids out of trouble and getting them doing things. Problem organizations, dominant school politics, costs, taxes, referenda. We don't have a ton of this. One thing we run into a lot is our Little League programs cost money, so we do some scholarships for that. School politics, the only thing we really talked about as a staff was more of just keeping out religion and politics and things like that as much as you possibly can. So we know our leadership. At the top, we have our superintendent, and then we have 2 assistant superintendents. We have our building principals in elementary, middle school, high school. We have our staff, which is certified and then non-certified, and then we have our veteran teachers. I think veteran teachers have a very large leadership role here, people that have been here and know kind of how things work, how the community works. Families, we do have some very well-known families that have lived here their entire lives that have kind of a little bit of pull. So well-known families and the community members are great form of leadership. We have some businesses. We have some donors to the high school mostly, not to elementary settings, but to the high school. So some of those businesses are very well known and have a leadership role within our community and in our school. No community leaders and characteristics. I think these hold true to just about everything. They're trustworthy. They have integrity. They're flexible. Can make things work. Makes it work for everybody, not just one person. Has a great rapport with their staff, coworkers, and community. Listens, great with people, and most of all, they have respect. And I think most, if not all, of our leaders in the area have all of these characteristics. No economic conditions. Annual gross income, about $42,000. Over 60% pay more than $800 in property taxes a year. 71% own their own home and do not rent. Again, that was a little surprising to me. A lot of people are always asking around about renting homes or even homeless families. So this was a big surprise. That's kind of a large number, I think. 16% live below the poverty line, which is right on track for like the national average, which I think is about 15. The major source of income, it's close tie between farming and then, believe it or not, executive. So we have a lot of small businesses here. So I think that's kind of what they run their own business. They're executive in their own business. And then lots of things have changed since the mine closed. So a lot of people are unemployed, a lot of people looking for jobs, a lot of people who made a lot of money at one point in time are now bagging groceries and trying to find scrap work here and there. So lots of things are changed. Our economy is very shaky right now. Political structures. Can we separate politics from education? I don't know. As much as we'd like to say we can, we're a Title I school. So it makes it difficult anytime funding is involved. So with the new election and things like that, people are very skeptical of whether, we'll have money for these, period, if we'll have money or not. So yes, I think you can if you're professional. But again, at the end of the day, it is difficult. More money is spent at the state and local levels in education more than any other function of the government. So our district does a phenomenal job. I found this out today. 69.8% of funding in our district goes towards salaries. Anywhere from a bus driver to a lunch lady to a para to a teacher to admin, anything. 69%. Remaining is spent on buildings, maintenance, and other things like that. So awesome. I think that's great. State and national understanding. With a new election, state and federal changes could cause some serious changes for us, and we talked about that. Social tensions, interaction, confrontation, little to none around here from what I've been here. I've been here for 3 years. Biggest confrontation is consolidation of schools. We have 5 high schools in a small rural area, And the big way to save money is if we condense a lot of those small schools. And boy, when you bring that up, it's not good. So that's about the only confrontation we have as a district. We did have a few gangs, I guess, before I got here about 5, 10 years ago, but they're not very prevalent as of now. Most of those were associated with drug trade. Discrimination, we had a couple of issues about Christianity being brought into the school and how that wasn't fair if you weren't going to bring atheism. And ever since then, we have squashed that. They have put in new rules in our handbook. And so ever since that happened, there's been zero issues. So they pop up every once in a while, but not an ongoing issue. Extra sources of information. So bi-weekly, we have staff meetings. Actually, just came from one. Monthly board meetings notes emailed to staff and recorded in the newspaper. PLC, MTSS meetings are also recorded by someone and shared. Power School sends out student information to students, parents, and teachers. And coordinating council, staff decisions, calendar workdays, salary, benefits. So they go every month and have those discussions, come back, and our representative from there shares in our staff meetings what they talked about and gets feedback and then goes back to admin with that. So lots and lots of information being shared from lots of different moving pieces. Power structure, interrelationship among individuals with vested interests who have the ability to authority to control others. A big one here is veteran teachers, a very, very big one. And I think our superintendent has done a really nice job. So veteran teachers in our building really have a lot of power. And that's a good thing. They have a lot of say, and because they have a lot of say, change is hard because they've been doing things for so long, but at the same time, they know what is good and what is true. So someone like myself really looks to them to be a leader and a role model. Influence. We also have some powers from some young teachers, bringing in new ideas, bringing in movement, bringing in battle physics, bringing in things, and they also have a little bit of pull and power in the school to show that they actually can bring something to the table too. Multicultural issues, cultural customs, lots of different cultures, anything from Korean to, we have a big Korean population, Hispanic population, and white population, so we have to make sure we respect all those cultures and holidays and do not offend anybody. We have those language barriers, as most schools do. And then the mines closing has caused a lot of issues with a little bit with race, with most of the miners being white, trying to come back and finding their jobs and finding that they're trying to take jobs that another race may have, and a little bit of tension there. Power structure. So to show who represents each of us, I showed the certified staff. For certified staff, we have coordinating council, which I talked about. Classified staff has their own council. Parents have the accountability group, and then we also have a budget team. So those powers represent us as a school. Talk with the admin, bring stuff back. They're our voice so that we don't go to every single thing every night. This is a cool one. So we measure public opinion. We have a student survey, Panorama Education Student Survey, which is students take 2 times a year, beginning and end, and they share all their information with us and how they think things are going. And then we have a new program called Capturing Kids' Heart. And all the things we're doing with kids, we're having major growth and great feedback from parents and students. So this is how we measure whether the public thinks we're meeting their child's needs and how the students feel if we're meeting their needs. And then here's our surveys. Here's the stuff we use to help us identify needs and things we're doing well. We have open school board meetings that community members can share concerns, parent-teacher conferences, and then when they leave, they fill out a survey every time. Personal experiences. Multiple times I've had my meal covered for me when I've been out, just people finding out I'm a teacher. So that's me, boom, right there. It tells me, they're like, hey man, how are you? Meal's on us. Don't worry about it. Keep doing it. You do great. Thanks for helping out our kids. And then the public school system caused many people went to school here, spent their whole lives here. So they have a lot of respect and a lot of honor built into this. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned a little bit about our community. I know I learned quite a bit about demographics and things like that, about powers, and I even found about committees that I didn't even know about. I've been here for 3 years. So with this has helped me understand I need to get more involved. Power and influence and things like that can come from many different viewpoints, And understanding this community just as a teacher alone, not even as an admin, helps me understand, okay, this is